Football League. I'll also catch up with ATU and ladies football manager Maxie Curran. All this and a bit more just after 7pm news this Monday on Highland Radio and podcasted on highlandradio.com.
The DL debate with Sister Sarah's Letterkenny, serving food you'll love in Sarah's Kitchen.
Highland Radio, your voice, your station.
And you're very welcome back. And as promised, joining me in the studio tonight, I have three members of the Lifford Players. Edward Flannagan and Dee Dee Differ and Arthur McGarrigle. Folks, you are very welcome.
Thank you, Jean, for having us.
Thank you, Jean.
So, Eddie, you have been an actor with the Lifford Players, you've directed plays with the Lifford Players, but now you've taken pen to paper and you've written your own 3-act play. So tell us, how did that all come about? What inspired you to do that?
Good question. I suppose I've always planned to write a play at some point, or I've always been dabbling in writing in some form or nature. Came about really because we had Balor casting plays in the last 4 or 5 years, and not getting the actors in, and so I thought, well, I'll write a play for the actors that we do have, and we have some very talented guys like, to my left, Dee Dee Differ, Owen Differ, Gilbert Young, Emily Kilpatrick, to name but a few, and so I thought, well, let's write a play for those guys, a play that we can cast, and I suppose that's where it kind of came from.
Fantastic. So, when the idea comes to you from first word on page to finished product, how long did it actually take you?
I would have wrote the play in probably about 10 or 11 months, and it was really a case of I wanted to write about topics which were kind of taboo or we don't always talk about, and this topic was about inheritance going badly wrong. We've all been involved, we've heard somebody who's been involved in a family crisis of such where there's a will being disputed or something like that, and so we've not involved directly, indirectly. So I thought about a topic we could talk about because we don't talk about it very often, and I came from there, and it was really kids then times I would have had a burst of creativity, would have gone mad for maybe 2 weeks, then took a week off, maybe a month off, then I'd be in the car driving along and I might have seen something. Yeah, that's where I'm going to go now next for that. Then write again. Then slowly the arc really began to evolve, and about halfway through I could see where it was going, and then finishing the play was quite hard because you're almost there, and then you think, wait, I must get this play over the line, but you can't rush it. It takes time for the story to evolve naturally, and that took about, let's say, 9-10 months.
Mm-hmm. And you were saying there that about inheritance. So just give us a wee idea of the storyline from the start of it. And you sent me a copy of it. And it's over 3 days, is it? Or there's 3 scenes to it, but it's a very short period of time.
It's over 2 days. Yes, there's a prologue which is before midnight, and that's how the play starts. And that gives us an idea of what the play is about. It's a young couple, a grandson and his girlfriend, talking about the imminent farm being handed over, and then we go into the following evening, where we meet more of my characters, the protagonists. So it's really, it revolves around 2 siblings who are, one is looking for the inheritance, the farm in question. The father's quite old, he's quite ill, and he may pass away very, very soon. And the other sibling returns home as well, not so much for the inheritance, but more for a reason of love, of looking for understanding, and but the 2 siblings have never got on, and so it obviously implodes from there when you have greed, sibling rivalry, and distrust. There's other elements as well. There's other characters who get involved. There's farm helpers who chip in with their 2 bob, and so the story unfolds around these 2 siblings and the father.
And when you were actually writing this, did you have individuals in mind from people you'd have acted with or directed before, or did you sort of wait till the reading and get your cast from that?
Well, I wrote the play for this man to my right here, Arthur McGarrigle, and Leo McBride. That's the two guys who I had in mind when I was writing this play. And then as the characters evolved, Deedee to my left came into it, and Gilbert came into it, Alvin a bit after that. And so really for Arthur and Leo McBride was my school drama teacher. So and I always thought, well, these guys, they're getting towards the end of their acting days. Dare I say that? And I thought it'd be quite nice to pen a piece for them.
Fantastic. And how many of a cast have you got, Edward?
It's a cast of 8. I know there's a cast of 9, but there's one silent actor in it, which the audience can tease out to them themselves. So it's really 8 working actors. Mm-hmm.
And you are directing and you're acting yourself. Do you find that difficult, or have you mastered it now at this stage?
I don't believe you'll ever master that. It is very difficult. It wasn't a plan that I act in it, just to direct. But as it evolved, I did step into it. And yes, it is very hard. Anybody who's done it, I know Sean Byrne, what does it, Kieran Kelly, and LMDG. It is a hard role to master. You've got so much to watch. You're working with actors, working with individual characters, some very, very strong characters who want to go their way. You're involved in the set design, set building, the tech, the sound, the lights. There's so much there to manage, and not just then, of course, learn your own lines. And it's very hard to direct a play when you're actually in it, because you just can't see it.
And the title of the play, When Elephants Collide, now that intrigued me. Where did you come up with that as a title?
Well, I know you alluded to the African proverb about when elephants fight, the grass gets tumbled, and that's one I wasn't actually aware of, but it is very, very apt. But really, it comes from the fact that when elephants, the elephant in the room, essentially, and the point I'm making is that we're probably all elephants in the room. That what is normal, when a person stands out, well, why, in your opinion, do they stand out, and why do you call them that? So what I'm saying is we're probably all elephants in the room. We're all normal, and when elephants collide, they're coming together. They're clashing.
Uh-huh. And Arthur, you're the club chairman, and now you have been a stalwart of the group for many, many years. The group was around since the 1950s, so I don't think you might have been acting in the 1950s.
Certainly
somehow.
was not. No.
But you've been there for a long time, Arthur.
Well, it just seems like a long time. The first time I played with Lifford players was Philadelphia, Here I Come, and that had people like Kieran Kelly and Paddy McBride and people like that. That and probably the most memorable performance we ever did, because we got to Athlone, and it's easy for me to say I thought we were brilliant. I thought we were superb. I thought that everybody in the cast was superb, but we came across an adjudicator who will remain nameless, just in case he's still out there, and he slaughtered one particular member of our cast, and I won't name who that person is, but anybody listening will readily identify who that was, to such an extent that I think it just ruined the confidence of that particular actor, and I'm not sure that it was just thoroughly undeserved criticism from an upstart adjudicator.
And I suppose really when you go on the circuit, you're at the mercy of the adjudicators. Like one man's food is another man's poison, as I say, and somebody could love it or loathe it, and you have to sort of grin and bear it. But it's hard when you know that other people have loved it.
Well, the thing about it is you have to accept it, and I know that there are people in Lifford players who are of the opinion that I don't readily accept it, but you do bare your soul. You give of your very, very best. Now, I have no objection to any adjudicator in the private adjudication at the end of a performance, in private, confidentially, saying, look, that was terrible, you were rubbish, you were bloody awful. But to have an adjudicator on a stage, and I have seen at least 2 adjudicators do this, ridicule people who have spent the winter rehearsing a play, doing their very best. Okay, if their best isn't good enough, but to tear shreds off people like that in public, I think, is an absolute disgrace. And if pressed afterwards, I will tell you who those adjudicators are.
But in spite of that one adjudication, Lifford players have gone on to win. They've won the All Ireland 3 times.
Yeah.
They've been in the final several times, and have won so many festivals. So it's a well-established group. Is it refreshing to get to perform a brand new play as opposed to going to the Library of Friel and all the stalwarts of the drama?
It really is. It's something else. I had to check back on this. Lifford players have only ever done one play that was an original, but it was back in 1962, and it wasn't a festival play. It was well received locally, but they didn't take it any further than locally. So this is a very, very well, obviously a new play, but it's the first time Lifford players have taken a new play onto the circuit, and we don't know what to expect. We really don't know what to expect. But when I first saw the play, when I first read the play, I was horrified because there were so many typos in it. And then Eddie decided that what I should do first is to actually proofread it. So when I read it after it had been after we'd proofed it, I mean, I would acknowledge it's a very, very good play. There are lots of levels and characterizations and really, really interesting. And I think anybody coming along will find a good story, and B, an entertaining story, and C, they will be entertained and intrigued.
Fantastic. So what part do you actually play yourself in the play?
Well, this is the scary bit as well, because he said to you a moment ago that he had me in mind when he wrote the part. Now, the part that I'm playing is a drunk, agricultural, good-for-nothing layabout who can't find his own way home, spends most of his nights in the ditch in the hay, and you begin to wonder yourself, well, crikey, maybe Eddie doesn't hold me in such high esteem at all. No, it's a great part. It's at my age maybe a part bigger than I should have taken on, but now that I've taken it on, I hope I do it justice, and I'm really looking forward to seeing to getting a reaction from an audience from doing it.
Fantastic. And Dee Dee, again, you weren't around. You weren't even born in the 50s, but
No.
you're the secretary, and you've been acting with the Lifford players for a number of years now. So, how long have you been with them?
I have been with them since 2010. Anne Kelly had asked me to come on board to help do the sound for the production of Philadelphia Here I Come, and it was an absolute joy getting to sit at the sound desk, operating the sound first, and getting to watch that production over and over again every night. And I was hooked from then on. So I think this is my 10th production with the group, either on stage or off stage, and it's just been an absolute joy being with the group.
And your part in the play, what part do you play?
I play the part of Piper Rose. She is the granddaughter in the family, and she likes the finer things in life. She's a bit of a snob, but she wouldn't be the brightest crane in the box either. She runs around the house. She cares a lot for her grandfather and for her mother. She would be making tea, making sandwiches, doing fries, cooking for everybody, making sure everybody's well fed and catering for them as well. So it's a fun part to play now, I have to say.
And it's a big commitment being on the circuit, because you're rehearsing, I'm sure, since the end of September, and then if everything goes according to plan, you're really committed to late April, early May, so it's a big undertaking.
It's a huge undertaking, yeah, absolutely. Like during the winter months, you may be rehearsing 2-3 times a week, and which is great now to help pass those long winter nights. But when it comes to festival time, when you're performing, you could be rushing from work to head down to as far as Cavan to perform, and then making your way back down for work the next morning. It can be a busy time, but you're running on adrenaline, and the crack is brilliant, I have to say.
Fantastic. So all the months of hard work, Edward, now have paid off or are about to pay off. So you're taking to the stage now in the Balor. Is it this week coming?
Sunday the 5th of February.
This night week then?
Yes, and so that'll be our first performance. We're looking forward to that greatly, to a live audience, and it's a great theatre as well. So we're excited about it. And then we're in Remelton Town Hall the following Sunday. That's the 19th of February.
19th.
Yeah, 19th February. So and then we go on our first festival date. Then would be Newton Stewart on February the 28th. And we have that followed by 7 more festivals. So if we just add on what Didi was saying there, I mean, it really is, if we go the full cycle of this, it really is 6 months off your year, where you are rehearsing at least twice a week, at this stage we're also rehearsing. In fact, we're back from rehearsal today, from a very long rehearsal today, from 11 this morning.
11 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, you know, and so the desire, discipline involved is really something.
And if I could interject here, not only are we rehearsing since 11 o'clock this morning, but this is actually Eddie's birthday.
Oh,
So,
well, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
We've been singing this all day.
We'll not ask what age you are, Eddie, but many happy returns of the day,
thank
and
you
I'm
very
sure
much.
there might be a wee jogging when you go home with Eva. But anyway, it's set in the 21st century, even
is.
though there's 19th century traditions. You were saying that in the little vlog you sent me.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I mean it's a modern play, and but of course, as we're all aware of, you know, when it comes to grandparents or to parents, they are very set in their ways sometimes, and the way that things are carried out don't always go towards logic sometimes. So so steeped. The anchor here is that there's, as you say, 19th century traditions holding it back possibly, and causing the conflict. You know. But yes, a modern piece.
Modern piece. Well, listen, the best of luck with it, and I hope to get to see you at some stage. So the Balor next Sunday night is the first performance, and then Ramelton, and then the circuit. So thank you so much, Arthur and Edward and Dee Dee, for taking time out, and all the best, and all the best with future writing as well.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Jean.
It's been a pleasure.